Hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing and join the board in a moment of silence as we honor our veterans, our first responders, and our active military. Thank you. Good evening and welcome to our first June meeting, work session. I'll entertain a motion for approval of bills and payroll.
Motion.
Motion by trustee Clark, seconded by trustee Casado. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. While Mr. Rivera makes his way to the podium, just like to point out that Deputy Mayor Sartori is unable to be with us here this evening, but she will be back for next week's hearings and meeting. Mr. Rivera.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Resolved to approve the minutes of the meetings of the Board of Trustees from May 7th, May 14th, and May 21st, 2025.
Motion by trustee Casado. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Solosky. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Resolved to approve a request by the Mineola Chamber of Commerce to conduct the Mineola Street Fair on Sunday, October 5th, 2025, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Jericho Turnpike from the east side of Mineola Boulevard to Nassau Boulevard and Willis Avenue between Washington Avenue and Linden Road. Rain date is October 12th, 2025.
Be here before you know it. Entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by trustee Clark. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Casado. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
I have one personnel item. Resolved to authorize the posting of a laborer position in the village clerk's department. Workdays are Monday through Thursday, and hours are 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m.
Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday. Oh, yes, sorry, Monday through
That'd be a
Friday.
great job. Linda
Yeah.
was gonna put in for it.
Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion for the posting of the position. Motion by trustee Casado. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Solosky. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Mr. Palumbo. I heard that too, yeah.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Request a resolution for the installation of 2 stop signs, one on the northeast corner of Coolidge Avenue and Bauer Place, and one on the south side of Coolidge Avenue across from Bauer Place.
Okay, this is at a request of a petition submitted by residents in that area. After analyzing the traffic flow, we did agree that perhaps it would be best that we put these 2 stop signs up to slow down traffic, calm down traffic at that intersection on Bauer and Coolidge. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion
Second.
by trustee Clark, seconded by trustee Casado. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Request a resolution for an emergency cleanup of mold that was detected in the sanitation garage.
Okay, this
So-
is something, oh, you could go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'd say the
Yeah.
contractor is ServPro. The cost is $18,200, and the funding will be from the 2025-2026 general fund budget and/or the general fund unreserved balance.
Okay, so obviously this is something that we should do and have to do and will do. So I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion by trustee Solosky. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Clark. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Request a resolution authorizing the removal of a handicap reserved parking sign in space in front of 33 Berkeley Road.
Okay, usually we get requests to place handicap signs from time to time for various reasons. We get requests to remove handicap signs. This is a request to remove a handicap reserved parking sign. Entertain a motion?
Motion.
Motion by trustee Clark, second by trustee Casado. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And one personnel. Request a resolution authorizing the transfer of Jalen Bobo, a laborer in the village clerk's office, to the sanitation division of the Department of Public Works. Days and hours are Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. until 3:30 p.m., with his salary remaining the same.
Right, so this is someone who's working here at Village Hall as one of our maintenance crew, asked for a transfer over to sanitation, hence why we posted for the other position before. This brings our sanitation department up to full, or do we still have one?
No, I just have one more out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll entertain a motion for this, to approve this transfer.
Motion.
Motion by trustee Salaski, seconded by trustee Casado. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. O'Keefe.
Hey, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So in the month of May 2025, a total of 90 permits were issued by the building department, and for the fiscal year between June 1st, 2024 and May 31st, 2025, the department issued a total of 991 permits. So with the launch of Municity last August and the hard work put in by my team in the office, I think we were able to pull off a very successful year. Big part of it is Municity and able to process everything. We distributed letters last weekend, and throughout the week, I would just like to thank the residents of Mineola and commercial property owners for an outstanding response from the notices regarding property maintenance, and I urge that any others that haven't taken action to maintain their properties, please do so there's no further enforcement required by my department. One thing I talked to Chris Barbino over in sanitation about, which is an issue, is I'd like to remind landscapers that are maintaining residential properties that any clippings and debris collected at each location must be taken with you. Please do not leave them on the curb for sanitation to collect. And that's all I have for today.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Mr.
you.
O'Keefe. Mr. Gibbons?
No report, Matt.
Okay, thank you. All right, we have a little time, and during a work session, I do want to bring up a couple of events that are coming up. As I said, this is our June 4th meeting, so we're just starting to get into the swing of things. We have a very, very busy June coming up this very weekend. We have the Portuguese American Feast at Wilson Park, which will be this Friday, the 6th, 7th, and 8th, so this weekend. On the 6th, this Friday at 5 p.m. at Fire Headquarters, we will do a Portuguese flag raising to commemorate Portugal Day and Portuguese Pride Month. On Sunday, we have our annual New York State Portugal Day Parade in Mineola. Of course, that takes the usual route of our parades down Jericho Turnpike, and it ends at Wilson at the Portuguese American Feast. We hope that you will come out and support this celebration of culture. The following week, Friday the 13th, we have our first concert in the park. The band is Who's Next, which is a Who tribute band. So hope to see you there for that. And that weekend is also a busy one. The very next day, we open up our pool on the 14th. So if you have not gotten your leisure passes yet, make sure you do. Again, follow. The pool has its own social media presence on Facebook, but you can certainly get there through ours as well. All the information, the bulletin, recreation bulletin, that is all available as well. You also can pick up copies here in Village Hall. On Sunday the 15th, not only is it Father's Day, but it is the annual traditional Father's Day pancake breakfast by Troop 45, right here at Village Hall. So please come out and, oh no, it's at the Knights of Columbus.
No, high school.
It's at the high school. They keep moving around. It's at the high school. I just saw the sign outside. That's why I thought. So at the high school on Father's Day, okay? And then, finally, kind of finishing off June, on Saturday the 21st, we have our second festival in our festival series, which is an arts festival on 2nd Street. So that will be all day Saturday, essentially from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Saturday. So that's a lot going on. I think I got us close to closing the work session. We have one more minute. What else can I do? I can sing a song. What's that? Oh, Love Song is on the 20th. Oh, on Friday the 20th, we have 80s New Wave at Memorial Park. So we have two concerts on the 13th and the 20th, and we have the festival on the 21st. We have the parade on the 8th, the flag raising on the 6th, the pool opening on the 14th, and the pancake breakfast on the 15th. So I think we have nothing on the 29th. That's the only day that's open in the whole month of June. With that, I'll entertain a motion to close the work session.
Motion.
Motion by trustee Clark. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Salaski. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. we'll go right into our work session. So I am going to hand it over to Trustee Casado. I said a lot of it, but people watch these meetings separately, so you can certainly bring up, a lot of the things bear repeating.
Yeah, so I want to thank those who took part and attended our Memorial Day observance. Oh, my God, yeah. And whether you marched in the parade or stood along the parade route or attended the ceremony, the important thing, you were there to honor and show your respect. So thank you for that. And with that in mind, I also wanted to thank the committee for making that day possible. I also wanted to give a shout out to our Chamber of Commerce for distributing American flags along the parade route, and also a shout out to Chaminade High School for displaying American flags along their Jericho Turnpike borderline. Again, showing their respect, very impressive. And I also wanted to congratulate our Mineola High School girls varsity softball team, who won the county finals on Monday night. They will play at Miller Place tomorrow night for the Long Island Championships. And to me, this is kind of personal, because the last time they won was in 1998, and my daughter was part of that team. And we went upstate. Ms. Mayor, we were up there in Clifton Park, and unfortunately, we lost the states, but it was a fun time. So congratulations to the girls, and best wishes for tomorrow night. That's it.
Trustee Clark?
Good evening. I just want to thank the committee that put the Memorial Day Parade together. It's a huge undertaking, and they did a fantastic job. It's a great way to remember those that have fallen and give us our freedom. I've taken the opportunity to walk through the parks recently, and they're fantastic. Everything is clean. The Public Works Department has done a great job in getting them ready for the summer. The pickleball courts look good. So there's a lot to do. And with all the events that the mayor mentioned, we really got quite a lineup for the summer. So enjoy it and have a nice time. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Solosky?
Thank you. Well, it seems like the weather has finally turned, and maybe it will stay permanently like this. So as you heard the mayor say, there is so much going on in the village this month. Please partake. It is amazing. The songs, the bands, everything. This weekend, so much focus on the Portuguese culture, community, and all that they do for our village. So it is a great day, or great days, to come out and enjoy yourself outside in the village. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Solosky. I do want to mention that this last week, I had the opportunity to attend the Eagle Scout ceremony for 3 local Eagle Scouts from Troop 200. Usually, we deal with Troop 45 because that's the more Mineola base, but ironically, Troop 200, the 3 recipients were all Mineola High School graduates, who I happen to know, class of 2024. So congratulations to Thomas Farmer, Andrew Vacchiano, and Diego Mejia Mahano. Very impressive in each in their very own way. And with that, next week we have Troop 45's Eagle ceremony, which I believe they're getting in about half a dozen new Eagles, so they just keep raising the bar for sure. So great job by these fine young men who, it's a long process. It's a long process, not just the Eagle Project, but getting to there, starting as Cub Scouts and moving through all the ranks. I believe that the statistics are like less than 2% of all young men who start out as Boy Scouts end up reaching the rank of Eagle. So it's great that here we have Troop 200, Troop 45, and I believe Troop 201 as well kind of captures some of us, but certainly Troop 45 and Troop 200. And to that, Troop 45 was involved in the organization of the Memorial Day Parade. Unfortunately, our veterans are getting older. Our veterans groups are not what they used to be in terms of membership. New veterans just don't seem to be interested in joining VFWs and American Legion. So what we did a couple of years ago is the Mineola Fire Department and Troop 45 have decided to essentially take the reins. And I can tell you anything that Steve Grosskopf, who's the former Scoutmaster from Troop 45, he does, and Don Franz from the Fire Department and others, They organize, you know, ship shape, organized numbers, everything is laid out, so great job by them. And I think it bears repeating the events for this coming month. Again, check out mineolaevents.com or go on our website and you can be directed to that, or follow us on social media, or look at the mailer that we send home, the quarterly mailer. The back page has all the dates of upcoming events, as well as holidays that we need to pay attention to in terms of sanitation. So again, this Friday, June 5th at 5 o'clock on Jericho Turnpike at fire headquarters, we have the flag raising, the Portugal Day flag raising. Then that day, Saturday and Sunday, is the Portuguese American Feast down at Wilson. On the 8th, kicking off at 11 on the corner of Sayville and Jericho Turnpike, is the Portugal Day Parade. So again, if you have plans, make sure you stay away from Jericho Turnpike from, say, 11 to 1, as we go east on Jericho to Roslyn, then south on Roslyn, and then east again on Westbury Avenue, and finishing up on Union. Hope to see you there. And again, next weekend is our first concert in the park. Who's next? The following weekend, the 20th, is Love Song, an 80s new wave band. So we have a little bit of everything for everybody. On the 21st, we have the Arts Festival. So we're going to see. Last year we had this downtown. So there will be food, there will be music, there will be activities, and there will also be artistic things going on, painting of murals and things of that nature. So looking forward to that. And of course, the pool, today would have been a great day for the pool. The pool opening is on the 14th at 10 a.m., so the pool will be open that day, but you need to get your leisure pass. I believe by now you have to pay maybe $10 or $15, maybe. Either way, it's the best deal going. So just sign up for alerts, pay attention, read what we send out, read what we post, go on our website, and certainly, you know, it's amazing to me when I hear people talking about, oh, I didn't know that this was happening, how did I miss it? Yeah, I don't know how you missed it either. I mean, we do it as well. And I do want to mention something that's not directly related to the village of Mineola, but I think Mineola residents would like to partake, is that NYU Langone, Long Island, is hosting a series of farmers markets right down at the train station, Parking Field 1, which is the parking field, the village parking field that is closest to the train station, just just west of 222 Station Plaza, that white medical building. So we're doing that a number of Thursdays. I believe this Thursday is the first one? The 12th. So the 12th is the first one. We have signs up there. We do lose, you know, about 12 to 20 spots for part of the day, but you know, so this is something that is not being coordinated by the village, but we are working with NYU Langone, and we'll see how it goes. Obviously, if it doesn't work for the village, for commuters, for parking, or for the hospital, we'll reevaluate. But hopefully, people will go down there. And remember, we have the Harrison Avenue garage you can park at. You can certainly park on any of those streets as long as you feed the meters, and or you can, if it's a nice day, you know, take a walk down there, and it may be worth it. You could also park in front of Davenport Press and take the elevator over to the other side. So this is on the north side of Station Plaza North, on the west side of it. So, and I think that's it. Do you have anything? No? Okay. Anybody else have anything? Did I forget anything, Linda? No. Okay. Look for our Mineola Moments in your mailbox in the coming weeks. Right after this weekend, we're going to send out, and I do want to one more time congratulate our village court clerk, Elizabeth Bernardes, for being the Long Island court clerk, the Nassau County court clerk of the year, which she'll be honored at an event. So you just walked in. We're about to close the meeting, but if you'd like to speak, you're welcome to come up.
You have two meetings, one with...
No, this is the public meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is the meeting that you get to speak at if you'd like to. Then come on up. You, saved by the bell, or saved by a mayor who talks too much.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Thomas Kaufman. I live at 101 Lincoln Avenue, Mineola. I have a question. There were trees, collect your thoughts. What is the reason we cut trees in Mineola?
Okay, so there are a number of reasons. Probably the most common reason is that the tree is sick or dying or dangerous, and it needs to come down. The second most common reason is we're doing street work, we're doing paving, or we're doing regrading of a street, curbs, gutters, et cetera, it's lifting up the gutters, it comes down. Number three, if it's lifting sidewalks and gutters to the point where it's causing a hazard, that would be another reason to cut them down. We do not take lightly cutting down trees, and actually right before this meeting, we just took a picture of 2 trees that we just planted, because we are a city, the Tree City USA, and we have been for almost 40 years, I believe, and that is because every single tree that we take down, so if we take down 200 trees a year, we replace 200 trees a year. So we replace every single tree. Doesn't mean that if we took it down this year, that it's gonna go in the same spot the very next year, because the stump has to be ground, we have to worry about utilities and things like that. But is there any other reason why we would take a tree down? It's sick, it's road work, or it's dangerous? Sewer. Oh, the other, we do have some residents come here, the roots get into the sewer system, and initially, we don't just take the tree down. Many times they will call in a professional to kind of root out the roots, if you will, but sure enough, a few years later, the roots are back in. So if he becomes persistent, I mean, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Palumbo, but I think there's been times in the past where we've had to pay for, certain damage to people's sewer lines because it was caused by our trees. So for us, it would be easier or more prudent to just take down the tree rather than to continue. And those are those big trees that you see that were planted 50, 60, 70 years ago. So those would be the 4 reasons. And none of them are arbitrary.
You and I have done this because they cut down some trees in front of my building, and you and I work together, and we have new trees in front of our building, and I thank you very kindly for that.
Don't thank me, thank Mr. Palumbo.
Well, that's you, sir?
Yes,
Mr.
the DPW Superintendent of Public Works.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, what's your name?
Lenny Palumbo.
Okay.
Yep, we planted them this year in front of, right after
Yeah,
you
yeah.
had met with me.
Yeah. That's why you got my Christmas card. Anyhow, there's, April 1st, I'm walking down Jefferson and 160. Your men are cutting down a tree, and it looks real healthy to me. So I said, what's going on here? He said, the tree's sick. And then he said, well, it's the roots here. And well, the owner wanted the tree down because they were worried about it falling on their house, and then there was something else and something else. What exactly was 160?
Well, if I remember correctly, it lived at the sidewalk, they repaired the sidewalk, they took all the roots out from that end of it, so we finally got a chance to take it down.
You took the roots out from the under?
Well, if they're doing the sidewalk, because it's lifted, they have to, the roots get chopped out to get the sidewalk to get that put down.
Okay.
So, and I'm gonna interject, because,
Do with all trees.
Right.
Big trees are different. The small trees, they can remove the roots and fix their sidewalk. But trees that are 60 feet tall, sometimes it gets a little shaky when the wind blows, you get hurricane season, nor'easters, and sometimes those bigger trees with the roots, they take out portions of the roots, then we do take the tree down.
Okay.
so actually, if I can interject here,
Yeah.
and I think our village clerk came with me to this meeting, the NCVOA, the Nassau County Village Officials Association, we have a monthly meeting, and the last monthly meeting, the guest speaker was actually an arborist. And he spoke about tree, and he's obviously somebody who's pro-trees,
Right.
but he did bring up exactly this point about that there comes a point, so imagine, the roots are like this, if you cut these side, it destabilizes the tree, right? So the tree is anchored into the ground, and if you cut the roots, let's say, on the sidewalk side, and not in every case, but these large trees, you've essentially destabilized. It's like you're taking a leg out from one, chair's got 4 legs, you've kicked one leg out, if you put the weight on that corner, it certainly destabilizes. So there are times where when someone does sidewalk work, or they do work to get the roots out of their sewer system, we come in, and if we see that it's unstable, or if we feel that it could be dangerous, you know, I have to tell you that the biggest eye-opener for me getting involved in local government was how passionate people are about this subject on both sides. For every person who comes here and says, why did you cut that tree? I have another person who says, why don't you cut down that other tree? So we have, weekly, multiple calls. When is my tree coming down? I have it on the list. Can you, just 2 days ago, I had somebody ask me about a tree on Jefferson Avenue. I said, we'll look at it. We're gonna evaluate it. You know, not because you park your car under it and it drops, you know, whatever on it. That's not a reason to cut down a tree, but I can tell you that for certain people, we don't cut down enough trees. For other people, we cut down too many trees. For some people, we plant too many trees. For some people, we don't plant enough trees. I could also tell you that we've replaced trees, and then we've had homeowners fight us tooth and nail, do not plant a tree back here. We don't, and usually, unless there's an extenuating circumstance, we force them to take a tree, because we do want our streets to be tree lined. Now, people will say, well, when I grew up, there was this beautiful canopy. You drive down the street, you know, there was these beautiful sycamores. Yes, but those trees were not wire-friendly. They were not sewer-friendly. You know, we have utility strips that are basically 3 feet wide with these huge swamp maples that, when they were planted by mayor, whoever, I'm sure they were beautiful, but now, if you've noticed, we've planted trees that are smaller in diameter, that fit in our tree pits, that don't grow to these tremendous sizes, that are, you know, that their roots are not, you know, going to go into the sewer system as much, that they're not going to go into the wires so much. So it is a juggling act, and I can tell you that I probably have more people complaining that we don't cut enough trees than coming here and saying why you cut the tree. But it is an argument that I don't think we'll ever, it's like the chicken and the egg.
I think it's an educational process here, because trees, not only do they add value to the person's property, they suck up a lot of water, and we are gonna be inundated. They also add a tremendous amount of shade. There are streets you can drive down in Garden City where you go under the trees and you can actually feel that there's like a 10-degree change in the air temperature. It's just amazing. Also, this thing with the sidewalks, when you have this problem with sidewalks rising up, or the streets, there's a site on Penn State University where they deal exclusively with this, and they talk about how to pull up the sidewalk or move the sidewalk in such a way that you still have the tree, you still have your sidewalk, and it's to the advantage of the homeowner, it's to the advantage of the city, and I'd like to send that to you, because I found that, and it was recommended to me by a person who works in New York City with trees, so.
And I have to tell you that this, when we found out the speaker at the NCBOA, usually the speakers at the NCBOA are anyone from the governor to the county executive, you know, that draw a lot of people. And when we saw the arborist, but I really learned a lot from him, and a lot of the arguments that you made, and I agree with him. They're healthier, and he gave us the percentage of the tree canopy on Long Island that has disappeared, the tree canopy in New York State that has disappeared, and all the reasons why we should save trees, and all the reasons that you just elaborated, you know, for shade, for you know, oxygen, for sucking up, you know, excess water during these storms, for sure. And that's why when I have the person on the opposite side calling me and saying, I've been on the tree list for 3 years, when am I moving up on the tree list? I'm trying to, you know, I can't, you know, get my car out of my driveway because I can't see, or whatever it is. And we have done, and if you'll go through the village, you'll see some places where they've bumped out the sidewalk and made it so that the tree has, you know, a room to continue to grow. But unlike Garden City, you know, Garden City, in certain areas, either they don't have sidewalks, or when they do have sidewalks, they have wide utility strips, like Mineola Boulevard. Like Mineola Boulevard in Mineola, you could plant those huge trees there, because they would have enough room to grow. Unfortunately, when our village was planned and designed and built, and curbs and gutters and sidewalks were built with 3-foot wide utility strips, it wasn't really, forward thinking. And now we have to deal with that. But we are committed to, I don't think we do it, I can speak for myself, but I think the board agrees with me. We don't do it just to get a designation to be Tree City. We do it because we grew up here, we raised our families here, and we think trees are important. We do. And so you'll see, for example, New York Forward, downtown, 2nd Street and 1st Street right now don't have a lot of vegetation, but as part of the program that we got the $4.5 million for, it's going to be heavy on, trees and greenery and walkability and all of those things. So it's something that I certainly do not want to just, concrete everything.
Thank you, appreciate it.
But if you ever have any questions, you can certainly reach out to our DPW office. They have
Yeah.
a number, you have a secretary there, they'll get back to you, will explain anything that you need to have explained. You can put, we have our My Mineola app, so if you see something and you want to put it in there, then you'll get a response, and they'll tell you where it is in the process, from a pothole to a tree to a downed wire to, puddling or anything like that.
I want to send you the thing from Penn
Okay.
State.
Look forward to it.
So I'm gonna-
Thank you.
Can I get your email address?
Yep. Okay,
Thanks so very
thank you
much.
so much. Have a great night.
everybody.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to close the public meeting.
Motion.
Motion by trustee
Second.
Clark, second by trustee Casado. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.